Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and look at this. XRP Unleashed is complete. They're excited to be attending the American film market. I think that's happening in Las Vegas next week for world premiere. Then see many of you out there across America for our first set of public premieres. They've sold out of everything except New York. As of 2 days ago, New York has 25 seats left, Boston 37, DC 30 seats left. Come get the last few seats available. Thank you all for being a part of an amazing journey. Good things are yet to come. We are ready to rise from the ashes. Look at this chart. Which Bitcoin price prediction do you think is most accurate? Coming in at the highest would be Crazy Michael Saylor at 13 million. Kathy Wood's next at 1 million. Mike Novogratz, who loves to show himself all over the place. I haven't seen him in 6 months, or at least a month or two, which is unusual. He's a 500K prediction. Arthur Hayes is 750K. Tyler Winklevoss is 500. Plan B's 400. Robert Kiyosaki's 500. Peter Brand 135. And Tim Draper 250. Mark Yusko at 150. Well, look, my position on this is if Bitcoin is allowed to live, they don't do something like tax it out of existence. If it's allowed to live, and you assume that someone doesn't come along and come out as saying I'm Satoshi and can prove it, or someone doesn't figure out how to break Bitcoin with like quantum computing or something, then I think that it'll go to 13 million and beyond. So under those circumstances, we just don't know. All right, listen to this. Here's we've been talking about XRP ETFs coming. This is Franklin Templeton, CEO.
Let's stick with the markets here. We've got a very special guest this morning. Jenny Johnson, President and CEO of Franklin Templeton, which has $1.5 trillion in assets under management. The 76-year-old firm was one of the roughly dozen to launch a spot Bitcoin ETF just last week after the SEC gave the go-ahead. Jenny, great to have you with us here on set.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start off with the Bitcoin ETF. I do want to, of course, get your take of the markets, but in terms of the Bitcoin ETF, we've seen massive inflows. That was expected in the early days. What do you expect as time moves on, and who are the incremental investors in this ETF in your view?
You know, it's funny. I'm known for saying that Bitcoin's the greatest distraction from one of the greatest disruptions in financial services, which is blockchain. So a lot of people took that as I'm not a believer in Bitcoin. And yet, launching this ETF, you can see obviously the demand that's out there for Bitcoin. And I think there's a lot of reasons why that is. I think that one, from a blockchain standpoint, the ability to pay, Bitcoin's going to be a key component of that. And the technology is going to open up a lot of really interesting types of investment opportunities. We actually launched a tokenized money market fund. We're the first mutual fund first traditional asset manager to actually launch a 40 Act fund on a public blockchain, on the Stellar blockchain. So Bitcoin is just one of the suite of what we think are opportunities here. One of the things that made me a believer is as I went around the world talking to people who would tell you, I had somebody who said, I keep 50% of my savings in Bitcoin because if I say the wrong thing in my country, I could have my assets confiscated. I remember talking to somebody in Israel who said, my parents and their parents had all of their assets confiscated. They keep a portion of it in Bitcoin. So there's a fear component to it that is considered almost a insurance or safety component. But I also think it's really important to fueling what is a next real opportunity in this blockchain world.
Right. So, I mean, the scenarios that you just outlined, that's the case for holding Bitcoin, the actual, you have the keys to the security as opposed to investing in an ETF. Right, so there's a use case for both.
For sure, but that still keeps a floor on the price, right? Yeah. So it keeps on the floor on the price. And then if you've actually tried to acquire and deal with the keys, it's really complicated, right? I mean, I did it at one point, and then I was trying to actually figure out how to get back in, and it's hard. And so being able to open it up and have access to that through an ETF and just simply through your brokerage account
is opening it up to your average investor. Now, this right here is interesting. I was trying to find this clip about a week or two ago, because you have all these people, oh, Ripple's abandoning XRP. This is the clip where Brad Garlinghouse a long time ago said that XRP is the heartbeat of Ripple.
I think we're going to see a dramatic change over the next 10 or even 15 years. XRP is part of the heartbeat of Ripple.
There you go. By the way, I have a butterscotch lollipop that I stole from my 12-year-old's Halloween candy. It's going good with my coffee this morning. Okay, check this out from Elon Musk.
Essentially, if done right, the X would serve people's financial needs to such a degree that over time it would become, I don't know, maybe half of the global financial system.
Wow.
Or some big number.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the number is, but pretty big. So it would be by far the biggest sort of financial institution. But like I said, not really in the way that people are used to thinking about banks. Mm-hmm. Just the most efficient database for the thing that is money. Like I said, like least amount of fraud. Everything's real time. And if it involves money in any way, it can be dealt with seamlessly on one look.
It's going to be interesting on X. Look at this one. Convenience store chain Sheetz, which I've never heard of. They don't have these in Georgia that I'm aware of, maybe up in Atlanta. Expands partnership with Flexa HQ to enable crypto payments at over 750 locations. And then we got Charles Hoskinson taking a shot at Chris Larson.
Because I'm so tired of being abused by the U.S. government. And I'm tired of being told that despite being abused, I should shut up and give bribe money to the Democrats, like Chris Larson did. It's wrong then, it's wrong now, and it always will be wrong. This government did terrible things to our industry, and the people who did these things should not be rewarded with power. We have a binary system, unfortunately. I tried very hard to make it not a binary system. I campaigned and pushed for Robert Kennedy. He joined alongside Elon Musk and others, Donald Trump. Do I like that option? Do I think it's an ideal outcome? Is it what I would have chosen if given a chance? No. It's him or the other person. And the other person represents every single thing that's wrong with America right now. The nepotism, the corruption, the woke cult. And I understand if you're from those political persuasions, you don't seem to think that that's a problem at all, or you seem to think that it's somehow better or more desirable than what's been going on. But what's been going on has 12 years of history behind it, in division and hate and vitriol.
Yep, I have to agree with Charles Hoskinson, not on the bribe part, but he's right about Kamala. These are the people that have tried to kill this industry, and I don't believe in rewarding them either. Speaking of, he's one of them. Now we're seeing Politico. This is a Politico article. Now they're trying to say, right before the election, points to an article, a wave of crypto-friendly lawmakers are about to crash Congress. All these guys, their party, the same people who've been trying to kill crypto for 4 years, all of a sudden, with the elections coming up, the backdrop is they're liars. So they're telling you, oh yeah, we're going to be pro-crypto all of a sudden. Well, I believe them. I believe actions, and the actions have been that they've been trying to destroy the industry for 4 years. And so now we're going to vote them in? Not this digital asset investor. Not happening. All right, here's CZ Binance knows what's coming.
2025. Are you still just as bullish on crypto next year? Okay, I'll try not to give any financial advice, but and also history doesn't predict the future, but I cannot predict the future. I can analyze the history. Historically, Bitcoin has went through very clear 4-year cycles. So 2013 was a bull year. 2017 was a bull year. So actually, 2012 was a recovery year. I think most people don't look back that far. And then 2013 was a bull year. 2016 was a recovery year. 2014, 2015 was tough. 2016 was a recovery year. and then 2017 went all the way over. And then 2020 was a recovery year, and then 2021 was a bull year. This year, now we're kind of back to the previous all-time highs. So like 2024 is a recovery year based on the current analysis, or based on the current prices. Next year, I don't know what's going to happen, but overall, the long term for the industry, I think there's so much more that has to be built, that needs to be built, and that will be built. So I think the industry will get bigger. More and more people will use crypto. And with more people use crypto, the utility value will increase. So long term, I'm still very, very bullish. Short term, it's very hard to predict.
Basically said it without saying. What did he say? Well, I think everybody kind of thinks 2025 is going to be something. Now, this is gold. You know, I've been showing you gold telegraph tweets for a long time, but this is the first time that I think they just started doing interviews, and they did one with Judy Shelton.
We went from the intra-war period of no system to the Bretton Woods system, which had very strong rules, the main one being that a dollar had to be convertible at the rate of $35 per ounce of gold. Then we had no system after August 71. I think that while the dollar is still pretty firmly embedded in its role, to me, the challenge is coming from the cyber currency movement and people who are in favor of decentralized finance. And I think the interest in gold is also sending a message. The credibility of a fiat monetary system with differential exchange rates, one that delivered 9% inflation, yet we saw no accountability from the central bank. No one got fired for that. And I think all of those are signs that challenges await. We see China having a very strong platform for exchanging energy imports for gold futures, or translating them into gold futures. We see the BRICS countries trying to talk about some kind of monetary union. I don't see that as a grave threat, but I see it as a sign, again, of challenges to the pivotal role of the dollar in the international monetary. I won't call it a system. I won't even call it a non-system. I'll use the word a great friend of mine, Jacques de la Rosière. He's a great gentleman in his 90s now. In France, he was the head of their central bank, the Banque de France. He was a managing director of the International Monetary Fund for quite a few years. He was the head of the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, where I represented the United States under President Trump's first administration. And he calls what we have today an anti-system.
I like it. New thing there. Anders L. has brought to your attention here. This is what I found was the most interesting thing in that Q3 market report, XRP market report from Ripple. Ongoing headwinds. The SEC suggests that its lawsuit against Ripple is a key factor in impacting XRP's price. That's the first time I've heard. That's like Ripple trying to get a message out to me. All right, here's somebody from Ripple. Casey, is it Casey? Cassie Craddock.
Now, fast forward to 2024, what we're now seeing is those banks that weren't necessarily interested in joining the network, or actually just asked us to leave or never returned our call. Those banks are the same banks that are calling Ripple as a trusted partner to start to build or develop their digital asset, kind of their step into that space. Firstly, they're starting with, working with us on, delivering custody solutions. But actually what they're asking for is us to really help support them in kind of leaning into tokenization as the first use case within their kind of journey from a digital asset perspective.
There you go. I'll just skip that. What we're going to do, the election is Tuesday, and I think this election has everything to do with crypto. I'm going to tell you what I think happened and what I think is going to happen. And I'm like a lot of people. I'm hoping and praying that it happens the way we want it to. because there's not a doubt in my mind. Well, I'll tell you in DAI XRP what I think. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Away we go.